Your favorite superhero or villain, definitely villain, Homelander, is in a new horror film. Yep, that's right. Antony Starr is one of the stars of this new film, and we're going to jump into the review of that right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the new film Cobweb, which is coming to theaters July 21st. As I mentioned, this film stars Antony Starr alongside of Lizzy Caplan, Cleopatra Coleman, Woody Norman in this really a pretty solid film. And you know, I didn't see this come out of nowhere, to be honest. Like, it just kind of just fell in my lap here. But I enjoyed it, and there was issues with it. I thought the ending was really flat. I'm guessing there may be something metaphorical with the ending. Maybe, maybe not. I didn't think that deep into it, but it's a good old haunted house horror film. And a lot of what this film and how it like is structured is definitely reminiscent to films you've seen in the past, whether they were good or bad, because there was definitely some that I can kind of feel a sense of like comparison to one another, but like they weren't that good. This one was solid. And even with the cast, it's starting off there. Antony Starr, he stars as the character Mark, alongside of his wife Carol, who's played by Lizzy Caplan, and they have a son, Peter, played by Woody Norman. And Peter is dealing with a lot. He's being bullied at school. He's certainly being gaslit by his parents. They're damn near abusive, to be honest, of how they treat him. And before that becomes very prevalent in terms of how they are, like initially you're kind of like, yeah, something's off with them, but like they truly come into their own in terms of being, as I said, big gaslighters and truly abusive parents here. But Peter is dealing with a couple of different things beyond the bullying, beyond the physical things that he's dealing with. He's having extremely bad nightmares. He's having visions. He's just a little off when it comes to his awareness at schools. You know, a lot of the other things that's happening with him is definitely coming to effect with his day-to-day things, and his substitute teacher, Mrs. Divine, played by Cleopatra Coleman, is definitely noticing this, and that is really alarming to her, to the point that she needs to do a house call and a house visit, which is really uncharacteristic for a substitute teacher. But she's concerned about what's happening with Peter, and she's going to go above and beyond, even if the school board doesn't think she should, and even if the parents are kind of like, what are you doing here? But yeah, Peter's hearing voices. And he's also hearing voices within the walls of his home. So that's kind of the haunted house aspect of this too. You know what I mean? But with that being said, Peter, with all these different things happening, he's starting to really discover a lot about his parents, potential major secrets that his parents may not have told him, that the folks in the neighborhood may have been a little bit suspicious of, but obviously never really have the full story here. And with that being said, things are just heightening all around Peter. I mean, listen, the bullying is getting worse. These nightmares are getting worse. The parents are truly becoming worse parents day to day. They take their punishments to the utmost extremes. It's very cringy, a little bit hard to watch. But with that being said, you know, they're in their own right trying to protect their secrets, very dangerous secrets at that. And Peter's just questioning him and trying to figure out the truth here. And this is a lot for a kid, but like this is the journey here. And as the viewers, you're on this journey of seeing this kid Peter, who just really doesn't seem to have a chance of a fair shot at anything. School isn't working, home isn't working. This relationship with his dad, this relationship with his mom, even trying to build a relationship with a substitute teacher, and they're trying to block that. So like it's a really hard shake for him. Meanwhile, he's hearing voices, and it's a friendly voice. as we know, won't last long because it's a horror film here. But yeah, all of that's kind of happening here. With that being said, when it comes down to the production of this film, the jump scares are all there. They're actually really, really good. But what I really liked about this film was certainly the sound mixing, because every bit of the sound counts. If it's the score, if it's sound effects, whether it's like these creaks, these groans, like tapping of the walls, like they make all of it work. They make it all count. And it certainly will make you feel uneasy. It's very unsettling. And then with that being said, like, yes, this film is chilling, it's creepy. And then when you start to get into some of like the really, deep horror aspects of this film, like, listen, it gets brutal, it gets grueling. It's really just creepy. It's no other way to put it. It's very creepy. It will give you the chills. And when we learn about this thing that's in the walls, I'm going to just say, like, the reveal it's okay. I didn't mind it, but the aesthetic is something. Long hair like a witch, the form movements, which you can hear all of those as well too. And the backstory of this entity thingy has been suffering in cobwebs and racks, so it is out now for revenge. Now that it's freed to claim as I said, their revenge, to claim its revenge back for the wrongdoings that was done to them. So, with that being said, it's not something you hadn't seen before. Again, the ending feels really flat unless it's just something metaphorical with the ending, but it definitely just kind of ends in the sense of like, okay, that's it. All right, cool. All right, and we're out. But I think it is a solid horror film. Definitely worth going to the theaters to see if you're just looking for a good popcorn horror film where the plot's not really thick, but the acting's good. Listen, Antony Starr as this character Mark, the dad. Much like Homelander, you just don't like this guy. And then Carol, Lizzy Caplan, takes you on a little bit of a journey too, because it's really hard to tell, what her best interests are. It's a little all over the place. And the two of them have some moments that are kind of like supernatural to themselves, if I must say, which I thought that they also portrayed that very well too. And then this little kid, Woody Norman, I think that this was a hard task for him. He leads this film, and he definitely takes us all over the place with it. And I thought he did a really good job as being our lead in this film. And I think, definitely a bright future. I would love to see him in many more things. And he's done a lot. I've definitely seen him around in a bunch of little things, TV and movies. So definitely interesting to see his career grow. But I think the other thing I really didn't enjoy about the film, like there were some parts of the film that just felt very I don't know, maybe like delayed response and like the human nature, like certain things that you would say like I wouldn't do it that way, or I wouldn't have did it at that speed. Like there was a lack of urgency at times. The bullying aspect of the film, which I'm not gonna say was unnecessary, but like at the points of where the bullying got extreme, it kind of was like, I don't know if anybody would do something like this unless it was in Texas or Florida. But like it definitely was parts of it that just was like, okay, this seems a little overkill, for this little kid. Again, this little kid, 8 years old at that. But nonetheless, I think it just together all around is a pretty solid film. And this is produced by also an all-star cast as well too. Rory Lee, Evan Goldberg, Seth Rogen, James Weaver. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of reasons to check out this film, and it didn't disappoint. Even for me not being fully aware of this film, you getting into it with low expectations, I'm like, you know what, that was pretty solid. That was pretty solid. And I definitely think I would watch this again, see if I could pick up on some things I might have missed out on, because it's a little bit of a mystery as this kid is trying to discover what's going on in his house, what's up with his parents, and what's these other mysteries that people are kind of hinting at towards him that he's just trying to all figure out on the fly while being 8 years old, being bullied at school, but also trying to be a good student and a good son. It's a lot for this little kid, and you certainly feel the weight of everything that this kid is going through this entire time. So anyway, folks, get in the theaters, go check this out. July 21st, this film is Cobwebs. Get in the comments, let me know your thoughts about it once you do, and as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.
Synopsis.